Indianapolis, the state capital of Indiana. Holiday season. Cold front moving in as you look at the Indiana state capital. Keep in mind tonight, if the Colts win, Denver clinches a playoff berth. Bills are eliminated. If the Bills win, then Miami clinches a playoff spot, and the Colts would be eliminated. And here we go with Steve Christie to kick off.
What if they tie, Al?
If they tie, don't even ask me about it. Terrence Wilkins and Jerome Pathan are back to receive. It's a short kick. It is fielded on the run up at the 17-yard line by Pathan, and he brings it back up to the 31. Colts from the 31-yard line against a Bill defense that normally aligns in a 3-4. It's been a defense that's been ravaged by injury. And Manning on the first play of the night takes the play clock down to 1, and they give it to James, who picks up 6. Second down and 4 from the 37-yard line, and before the snap, our first penalty of the night. Jeff Triplett is the referee.
Wow, that augurs well for Indy with the triplets, huh?
Maybe on the snap. False start. Offense.
Not if he's calling that.
On the right side. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Wow, it sounds like Johnny Most. Bing, bang.
Jim Mora, who took over in 1998. They drafted Manning that year, then drafted James. They were 3-13 in Mora's first year, 13-3 for the greatest turnaround in NFL history last season. 2nd and 8 from the 33 as Manning throws. It's caught. They like to go to Dilger a lot. He's up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Boy, this shot that Ken Dilger took right there hurt him badly. Like he came up with a bad knee. It's a quick out by the tight end. Manning just gets the ball over the defensive line, and then the big shot by Kenyatta right and by Henry Jones. Wow. Right is 98. Here comes Henry. It's the big hit right there.
Dilger, their 3rd leading receiver, is 45th catch of the season. 3rd down and 1. They have Dilger now lined up at fullback, and then they reset him at tight end on the left side. Again, Manning taking the clock all the way down before he hands the ball off to James, and he can't get out of the backfield. So a 3-and-out start for the Indianapolis Colts as Williams is there to make the tackle. Pat Williams.
You know, Al, you're talking about that 13-3 record last year for the Colts. I think that's going to hang over more this year. I don't think they were quite a 13-3 team. They had the favorable schedule, no injuries. That's a big thing to live up to. I'm not saying they're 7-6 either, but it's probably somewhere in between.
Hunter Smith to punt. By the way, James had been successful on his last 12 3rd and 1 carries, but not here. Hunter Smith having a very good year, a booming kick. Peerless Price is going to let it bounce at the 4, and it rolls into the end zone for a touchback. With the Buffalo offense, he looks at a guy that he spent a lot of time throwing to at the University of Tennessee. On first down, they give the ball to Sean Bryson. No gain. Key guy missing tonight. Their left tackle, John Fina, who is inactive. He's injured. Marcus Spriggs starts at left tackle, and they move Hickson at right tackle. 2nd and 10 as Johnson throws, and it is caught by Jeremy McDaniel, who is taken down by Burris. And a 5th as a Falcon. On 3rd and 2, Bryson to the outside, and he picks up the first down as they go to Sean Bryson. Bryson is out of Tennessee. He was hurt all of last year. Another guy who played with Manning in college.
Real good block out here by number 69. That's Marcus Spriggs. Spriggs is coming over to take Fina's spot. He's normally the starting right tackle, but showing his versatility on that play, getting out in front of Bryson, picking up that 3rd down and 2.
Bryson was mainly a fullback. In fact, he mainly blocked for Jamal Lewis for the Volunteers. Lewis having a great year, obviously, at Baltimore. First down from the 32-yard line. Catch is made, and Price spins out of a tackle for a big gain and finally gets shoved out of bounds deep in Colt territory, pushed out at the 30-yard line. Broke out of a David Mack Maclin tackle upfield.
Well, the Bills have come out with 3 and 4 wide receivers. This is a great catch by Price, and I'm not so sure that Maclin, if he doesn't pick that one off, goes the distance the other way. But the strong arm of Johnson gets the ball right to Price and then down the sidelines. But David Maclin is the nickel back for the Colts, and he's a 5'9" little guy, as is most of these defensive backs for the Colts, and that's where the Bills feel they have the advantage.
Took off like Otis Taylor in Super Bowl IV there.
38-yard gain, and that is through the hands of Sammy Morris, a rookie out of Texas Tech, who's been hurt the last couple of games, but he is back tonight. Jason Belzer. Dan Foucher's fighting Ducks.
You betcha, baby.
Second down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Buffalo's opening possession. This is Bryson, and he is bunched up at the line of scrimmage, falls forward to the 29. It'll be third down and 9.
Guys, let's make a pact with each other tonight. I know we got Coda and Bratsky. We're gonna hold out. We're gonna be the last men in this country not to tell the jive Chad joke, okay?
You're
no
kidding.
Chad jokes.
You got it.
You're kidding.
Yeah, we got to. It's over. The
I've
Chad
got
thing's
6 or
over.
7 of them. There's one right there. That's Chad Bratsky, 92. There's Chad Coda.
They're just hanging together. Oops, sorry, I violated it.
There you go.
Third down and 9. Neither has Nipples. Johnson flushed out, chased from behind, takes off, and is able to stay in bounds and pick up the first down. Good move by Johnson, who could have gone out of bounds at about the 22, looked at the marker, picked up the extra 4. On third and 9, he gets 12.
And from this side of the screen, watch number 53, Marcus Washington. And Washington's got great speed, but right here, Johnson pulls away from him, then makes the decision to stay in bounds and pick up the first down. Great speed by Rob Johnson.
That's how QB will earn the respect of his teammates, staying up that extra millisecond for the first, risking decapitation.
Yeah.
At the 17-yard line, this is Bryson picking up 3, taking it to the 15. The Bills signed Johnson from Jacksonville, where he was backing up Brunell, gave him a big contract in 1998 to be their man of the future. That was after they had brought Doug Flutie in from Canada, and even though there is a quarterback controversy, or what would be perceived to be one, Wade Phillips says there is none. Johnson is number 1.
Man-to-man blocking up front. The one thing the Bills will do here in the red zone is to spread the Colts out and run some draw plays.
Second and 7. They give it to Bryson, who bangs his way for a gain of 5. To the 10, it'll be third and 3 for Buffalo.
I don't know what that sort of ironclad sentiment by Wade Phillips gets him this late in the season. I mean, listen, he's the magic Flutie. If you're in trouble there, you got to throw him in, right? You got to win every game out. It's like the 7th game of the World Series. You pitch anybody you can. You put Koufax in for 3 innings if you have to.
At this point, is you saw 3 drives into the red zone without a touchdown. The last time these two teams faced each other, a late field goal by Mike Vanderjagt gave Indianapolis an 18-16 win over Buffalo in early October. Third and 3 from the 10. Bryson, and he gets necktied by Bernard Holsey.
You know, it's interesting now that you were saying Bryson used the block for Jamal Lewis, because the fullback we had here last year in Buffalo is now down blocking for Jamal Lewis in Baltimore and doing a heck of a job. Sam Gash really freeing Lewis up.
You can see that Bernard Holsey beats the block, and Jamie Nails there getting to the outside. The Bills tipped that play off by bringing Riemersma in motion, and they knew that the Colts knew they're going to run that toss strong side.
30-yard field goal for Steve Christie, and Christie has now scored 998 points in a Bills uniform. 3-0 Buffalo. Snow moving in to central Indiana as Pathan takes the kick at the 15 and brings it back up to the 34. So Manning and the Colts come out for their second possession. 6:47 left in the opening quarter. 3-0 Buffalo. Indy now, first time they had the ball, 3 and out. Their second possession begins with Manning of a play fake throwing, and coming back is Jerome Pathan to make the catch, pulls it in, stays in bounds. First down at the 48, covered by Chris Watson.
Chris Watson smiling because he knows he had a shot at knocking this ball down. Pathan, number 86, is going to run a deep comeback route. Manning has a lot of time to throw, but Watson tries with the left hand, and again, a quarterback with a strong arm squeezes one in.
14-yard gain. Watson starting in place of Donovan Greer. We'll see spot duty tonight, and James gets taken down by Phil Hansen. We talked about that Buffalo defense there, minus Sam Rogers and Sam Cowher, two great linebackers. Greer has been hurt as well. There's Ted Cottrell. He's done a nice job with what right now is a patchwork defensive unit.
And also Winfield's out.
Winfield is out. And Keon Carpenter, who had 5 interceptions when he was hurt, is out. So in effect, 4 starters. Second and 13. Manning just throws it away, and you can do that if you are outside the tight end box. Jeff Triplett indicating he was out, and thus you can't throw it away as he did.
75 as Marcus Wiley got 9.5 sacks. Almost comes up with his dear 10th and a half sack. He says that's his goal, to get in the double digits. Manning tough to bring down. He's only been sacked 17 times all year.
Wiley, very engaging guy, grew up in Southern California in the Compton area and matriculated at Columbia. So he went back east, went to New York, played in the Ivy League. Manning on 3rd and 13 with a play clock going all the way down, and the Colts trying to run the no huddle, but very ineffectively here in the first quarter.
It's so odd to see Peyton Manning even vaguely flustered.
Timeout, Indy. 3rd and 13. Action up front, and this play is whistle dead, and when they do that, that means it's against the offense. Had it been offside, it would have been a free play. It was Adam Meadows and Sean Price who got together, and I think the penalty is going to go on Meadows, 73.
Al, what did that kid sign with quickly? I know we're watching football,
Who's
but
that?
the Colorado Rocky pitcher. What did he sign for?
Mike Hampton?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Here's the
Neutral zone infraction. 91 defense. 5 penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Dennis, before I get to that, that's interesting. Sean Price he wasn't induced, but the play was whistled dead, which they rarely do in that particular circumstance, since he was anything but going unabated to the quarterback.
Well, what happened is top of the frame here is Price. He jumps, and that causes Meadows to come offside. So once the offensive player moves as well, Al, they will blow that one dead because they don't want anybody.
4-1 back on the game clock. 5-4-1.
Well,
you want to give Price a free shot at the quarterback.
Right.
You don't want to violate the neutral zone. That's in direct opposition to the precepts laid down by the Klingon Starfleet Command peace treaty. Nobody in the neutral zone. Huh?
That's right. You don't want to go into the DMZ.
Phasers on vague.
3rd down and 8 from the 50-yard line. And that's caught, and they convert. Jerome Pathan makes the catch, taken down at the 36-yard line.
Now, if the Bills don't get any better pass rush, it's going to be a long night. Manning, with no pressure, finds Pathan again, and Pathan meets Darrell Porter for the first down. Well, now maybe the Colts can get into some type of rhythm with this no-huddle offense. They've been sputtering as they've been going so far.
1st and 10 of the 36. Pathan has caught 2 passes tonight, each for 14 yards. Manning throws. This time he goes to Marvin Harrison. And his favorite target has a first down on his first catch.
It's the 2nd week in a row we've seen a quarterback freed up by his coach in the no-huddle. Bledsoe, now Manning. They look like they like it.
Well, they do, because they can set the pace themselves, call their own plays. You saw Manning get back with 5-step drop that time, and when he did, he planted that back foot. Harrison was on his route. Perfect timing.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line. And this is James absolutely nothing off a block by Larry Moore. Check in with Eric.
Al, I talked to Tony Marciano, the tight ends coach of the Colts, and one of the game plans was to have 2 tight ends. They call it an A set. What they want to do is take advantage of the young linebackers of the Bills with their inexperience. They want to stretch them outside and let Edgerrin James have inside runs or outside runs. Just like that one you just saw, they call that a stretch play, and they want to do a lot of that tonight.
Edgerrin tonight has started with 7 yards on his first 4 carries. 2nd and 5 from the 18-yard line. And this play is blown dead.
Yeah, Ken Dilger jumped that time, the tight end on the strong side of the formation.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85 offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Dilger.
You know, Eric was talking about that formation. Last week their linebackers were young. This week, after Rodgers and Coward are out, they're absolutely embryonic.
Speaking of Edgerrin James, Edgerrin was picked, as you'll recall, in the draft last year, very surprisingly in the minds of many, ahead of Ricky Williams, who went to New Orleans. At this particular point, he's on his way to a Hall of Fame career. Not that he's going to the Hall of Fame after 2 years, but his numbers are spectacular. At the 20-yard line, this is Jerome Pathan taken down, about 7 yards shy of the first. Travaris Tillman, rookie out of Georgia Tech, makes the hit.
Well, he and Ricky might go in the same class because he was looking good this year too till he went down.
Manning just in such control, being able to call his own plays. You notice now the Colts are going back to the huddle. And once they get to the red zone now, they want to make sure of what they're calling and get some points on the board.
3rd down and 7. Late first quarter, 3-0 Buffalo. Manning out of the shotgun. And once again, they run it all the way down, and Indianapolis has to use another timeout. 2 taken by the Colts in the first quarter. The look of a quarterback who's just had to burn a 2nd timeout in the first 13 minutes of the game.
Didn't like the crowd booing him a little bit there.
Right.
You think it's that, or you think the crowd's just so loud even he can't hear his audibles?
No, they're not loud on offense.
3rd down and 7 from the 20-yard line after the timeout. Manning guns it to the end zone, and it's dropped. Harrison had position. He looks for the flag. He doesn't get it. Ken Irvin with the coverage on the play. It'll be 4th down.
This was a spectacular play by Ken Irvin. Ball thrown just slightly behind Harrison, or this would have been a touchdown. He had inside position, but there's the left hand of Ken Irvin knocking that ball away.
And now the Colts will try to tie the game on a 37-yard field goal attempt by Mike Vanderjagt. He's having a Pro Bowl type of season. Hunter Smith will spot it, and Vanderjagt boots it through with 2:28 remaining in the opening period in Indianapolis. Bills 3, Colts 3.
Not a pretty drive for the Colts, having to use 2 timeouts, but they did tie the game.
Danny Kite kicks off for Indy. Good kick, 5 yards into the end zone. Chris Watson will not run it back. And the Bills will take over at their 20-yard line. Rob Johnson, well, one reason that he's the guy for Wade Phillips is the age differential. He's 27. Doug's 38. There is Flutie. And for Doug, clearly last year, the most frustrating point in his career, leading the team up until the end of the season. Johnson got healthy, played the last regular season game, and then everybody was shocked when Johnson was named the starter in the playoff game at Tennessee.
I'm shocked he wears that tablecloth on his head every week. What is that deal? You could picnic on that.
It's a tablecloth. From the 20, Johnson throws. It's caught by Bryson, and he gets taken down at the 25-yard line by Dwight Hollier.
Well, Rob Johnson has all the potential and promise to be an outstanding quarterback in the NFL. I think it's his arm strength that is his greatest physical asset. And even though he gets criticized for holding the ball too long in the pocket, he has thrown only 5 interceptions all year. But in this year of indecision 2000, it's clear that Johnson has the backing of Supreme Court Justice Wade Phillips.
Why was the animatronic figure crying there? Why did his hands go up to his eyes? Was he sad? Or what was that?
You'll have to ask the robots.
Like looked like they had just told him Flutie was starting.
I think what they just saw is a penalty against the Bills.
Right, they just told him his team was called for illegal procedure. So it's a 5-yard penalty. It moves him back to the 15-yard line. As you can see, 1 sack for every 8 dropbacks, and that's part of the reason he's been so injury prone. His career sack rate is 1 per every 6.9 dropbacks. He likes to hold on to the ball. That time he gets it away, and it's through the hands of Eric Moulds, incomplete.
He's also got a real low interception rate, Al, but you're beginning to think when you see those 2 numbers colliding like that, he might hold it a little long. I mean, Manning's getting sacked every 31 dropbacks. Talking about a 4-to-1 ratio there. So maybe Johnson, I hate to say this, maybe he's got to start forcing it just a little.
Yeah, the part of it is inexperience. Remember, he's not been a starting quarterback very long. And the big thing about the Bills, yeah, you can see what they did last week. Johnson called it his worst game of his life.
Yeah, Wade Phillips' team came out flatter last week than his old man's haircut.
They were routed by Miami. Play clock down to 1, and they give the ball to Sammy Morris, and he gets hit by Jason Belzer, who comes up to pop him at the line. Belzer, the safety, setting up 3rd down and 15.
Bell's is 100 straight start tonight. What better way to celebrate it?
When you talk to the opposing coaches about the secondary of the Colts, they say they've got one guy there who's a real hitter, and that is Jason Belzer. Even though he's only 5'9", about 196 pounds, he's the 2nd leading tackler on the Colts.
3rd and 15. Johnson is 2 out of 4, and now 3 out of 5 as Bryson makes the catch, but picks up 13 when he needed 15. Tackled by Bennett and Peterson, and Buffalo will be forced to punt.
But the one thing we've seen on this drive for Johnson, though, is he has been willing to come down to his outlet receivers. One of the criticism is that he sticks with his main guy too long. Obviously, Bryson was an outlet receiver on that play. Probably not the wisest choice, but a good choice, and they get to the completion and give their punter, Chris Moore, a little more room to operate with.
Danny, they ran their tight end, their back, and their wideout all in the same pattern on that side of the field. It was almost like you could see all 3 guys at the same time.
Chris Moore punting, Terrence Wilkins back to receive it. Wilkins from the 29-yard line. Gets back to the 29.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's about a 9-yard run back for a guy who ran about 75 yards. Tackled by Jonathan Linton.
Yeah, I think he made half the Bills miss him, too. Terrence Wilkins, one of the most exciting return men in the game. Watch these moves. This is just a thing of beauty. That's Rayon Hill. 39 can't get him down. Now he cuts back against the grain. Looks like he's about to run out of gas right here as Jonathan Linton comes over with the dive and the tackle.
Well, he had a huge game last time we were in here, but it looks like Pathan has firmly supplanted him as the 2nd wide receiver now.
Yeah, Wilkins had been hurt in training camp, caught 9 balls that night against Jacksonville. Hasn't done a lot since then. Manning to the period, winding down, goes deep, and a flag comes in. Marvin Harrison and Ken Irvin covering, and might have had enough of his shirt to precipitate the flag.
No question. The question may be, was the ball catchable? But there's the right hand of Irvin all over Marvin Harrison.
Defense,
and they're not even going to discuss whether it was catchable or not.
Spot of the foul. 1st down.
Irvin knows he's beat. If he doesn't reach out and grab him, it's a touchdown for the Colts, maybe.
Could have went a little lower, at least get that blue glove camouflaged in the blue of the shirt, but it's like a son and his dad at his confirmation, right on the shoulder.
What do you know about confirmation?
Huh?
He buys horses. a 36-yard penalty. James picks up 8 to the 17-yard line behind a Tarek Glenn block, and that'll end the first period. And the game is tied 3-3, and Monday Night Football returns to Indianapolis after this message and a word from our ABC stations. We begin the second quarter in Indianapolis. The Colts driving, game tied, second and a long one from the Buffalo 17. They give it to James, who picks up the first down, takes it to the 7. It will be first and goal. That's on Jeff Saturday. The center led the way.
Now let's take a look at Jeff Saturday. Here he is snapping the ball to Manning, working right in the middle there. There's the inexperience of Kenyatta Wright, number 98, linebacker on the inside, took the inside shoulder and gave James a big hole.
No huddle, first and goal from the 7. James again puts his head down and picks up 3 to the 4. Tackled by Kenyatta Wright, the rookie out of Oklahoma State.
Well, you know, Jeff Saturday's playing with a purpose this week. Caught a lot of heat in Indy this week for a bad shotgun snap in last week's loss. The ball got just stuck in the turf, and I'm amazed you got reporters crowding around the guy saying what went wrong in the shotgun snap. Well, it didn't work, all right? Things don't work once in a while. Cut the guy a break. You think he wanted to do it?
That was after they'd erased the 20-0 deficit, made it 20-17, and had the ball. Jets won the game by 10. The second and goal from the 4-yard line. Manning, fade, incomplete. Crowd looks for a flag. They don't get it this time. Irvin,
yeah, they did, Al.
They did on Harrison.
They did.
Yeah, they're at the goal line.
Yep. Ken Irvin was going to be called for holding.
I'm telling you, some of the refs are so gun shy with a flag this year. You got to really look out of bounds for it. They're afraid to ding anybody.
Holding, 27 defense. Half the distance, automatic first down.
This was a great route by Marvin Harrison as he faked the post route. Comes to the inside real hard. And now there's the grab, the left hand on that blue jersey, Dennis. Doesn't work there either.
Just a thought.
Just a thought.
Just a rambling, amusing.
It's almost a rant there. You almost got into a rant there.
I don't want to get off on a rant here.
Jim Finn lines up as the fullback behind James. Manning to throw at first and goal. And it's caught at the 1-yard line, and that is Jim Finn, who's forced out of bounds just inside the 2.
Well, I don't understand that call at all. You've got 4 shots from the 1-yard line. And you go with play action right off the bat when you've got Edgerrin James, who scored 10 touchdowns on the ground this year, and you've been running very effectively throughout this start of the second quarter.
And Jimmy Finn is 1999's Mr. Irrelevant from the draft.
Was he the last guy picked, huh?
Last guy.
He's only caught 2 balls this season. That was the 3rd. There he is lining up as the fullback. Now more conventionally, it is James, and that's a great play by Marcellus Wiley, who not only has 9.5 sacks, but the guy who's filling the role played so brilliantly by Bruce Smith for so many years. Very good against the run as well this season.
Oh, look at Teddy Washington. He's like the big island in there. He's taking on 4 guys.
Good job here as he fights between the tight end Ken Dilger there and goes low on James. You've got to tackle Edgerrin James low. He's got great balance.
So from first and goal at the 2, it's now 3rd and goal at the 5.
That looked like a Bruce Smith play.
Manning rolling, chase, and then it's broken up in the end zone. It's Irvin, who's been flagged twice tonight, and this time equal to the occasion, knocking the pass away.
You got to give him a lot of credit. Yeah, what's that, Dennis?
Nah, he just looks a little off his speed tonight, doesn't he? What do you see? Anything different than the last time?
I see a pretty good defensive plan by the Bills. They've faced this no-huddle offense. They've practiced against it. In fact, you could say that maybe they even invented it back when Jim Kelly was running the show. They know, Ted Cottrell says, the biggest thing is keep your composure and shut them down on first down.
And some curious play calling on a first and goal situation from the 2.
Yeah.
Especially on first down. 23-yard field goal attempt by Vanderjagt is good. So the field goal kickers have accounted for all the scoring thus far. Early second quarter, Colts take the lead 6-3.
He just throws them up. It's amazing work.
Well, we've been lit up before.
Around 2.5 hours from now, my friend.
This kick is fielded by Chris Watson from the goal line. And he brings it up to the 28-yard line. Eric, what'd you think of the play calling as a flag comes in at the end of that play? The play calling on 1st and goal for the Colts.
Well, as I was standing right down here on the goal line, I don't think it was very smart. When you have a horse in the backfield, you use it. Now, what the Colts are trying to do is they have those 2 tight ends. They're also using play action off the 2 tight ends. And I think they thought they could fool the Bills. But you're on the goal line. You have a guy like Edgerrin James. You use him. You don't throw the football when you're 2 yards out. And then believe me, as a running back, I know Edgerrin wanted the ball also.
I'll bet. Yeah, sometimes you can just outsmart yourself.
So many chess moves down the board. You forget you got the queen sitting right there ready to devastate the other pawn.
There's a face mask call against the Colts that's going to move the ball out to the 43-yard line.
Like Marcus Washington got a pretty good grip there on Watson's face mask. That was a good kickoff return for the Bills, something Dennis mentioned earlier. They are the worst in the NFL, averaging just 18.3 yards per kickoff return. This is great field position for Rob Johnson.
And worst in punt returns as well from the 43-yard line. They give it to Bryson, and he gets hammered after a gain of 2. Taken down by Mike Peterson and Brad Scioli.
Mike Peterson is the #1 tackler for the Colts. Here he is, 52, right from the ump cam. Takes on the block of Ostrowski. He gets in on that play after Brad Scioli with that big hit. Scioli taking advantage of the start tonight.
2nd down and 8. Johnson throws, almost intercepted by Chad Cota. Trying to jam it into Wiemersma. 3rd down. Let's check in with Melissa Stark. Melissa?
Everybody talks about what a great athlete Doug Flutie is, but Rob Johnson is actually a pretty good athlete himself. He was heavily recruited by Stanford to play basketball. He was a star pitcher on his high school baseball team, was actually drafted by the Minnesota Twins, and he's also no stranger to a quarterback controversy. His junior year in high school, his football coach, who happened to be his dad, told him he had to play wide receiver because Steve Stenstrom was going to be the quarterback. He said that helped him deal with the quarterback situation he's had to deal with in Buffalo.
Rob, who wound up playing at USC on 3rd down, has that one knocked away by Jeff Burris.
I think Johnson's a surfer, too, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
Better watch that on Buffalo. I think the lake's just about frozen.
Well, watch this ball get deflected at line of scrimmage by Ellis Johnson. That's why it comes out end over end and still almost gets to the receiver, McDaniel. Nice play there by Burris. And Burris, that's 2 plays in a row now. Colt defensive backs should have had interceptions.
Chris Moore to punt. Terrence Wilkins to run it back.
This kid's got a horrible net this year, Al. 32-4 for Chris Moore.
Well, that one is fair caught at the 18-yard line. That's a 37-yard gross and net punt.
Improved his average. Hey, Mom, send money for liposuction.
Monday Team Matches Golf coming your way Saturday. 1st down here for Indianapolis at the 18-yard line. 6-3. Colts on top. Manning buys time wide open, but unable to make the one-handed catch. Marcus Pollard found the seam over the middle, couldn't hold it in. 2nd and 10. How have the big 3 done tonight?
Well, let's check in on. We're going to be checking in on Manning, James, and Harrison all night long. But remember, part of this number here is, remember that pass interference call against Ken Irvin that got the Colts 36 yards.
2nd and 10. Back to the ground to James. And coming up from the secondary, that's a nice play by Chris Watson, who was a Denver Bronco until he was traded to Buffalo. 2nd-year man. Out of Eastern Illinois, Mike Shanahan's alma mater.
Oh, Shanahan's shrewd. He traded that guy earlier in the season as a conditional. He can either get a 6th or a 4th, and it looks like the kid's seeing a lot of time. So there's Shanahan again. He's going to pick up another 4th rounder, right? That That's how you keep the franchise going.
Very proud of you, big boy. You have been doing your homework.
I don't even know if that stat's right. It might have been a fourth. It might have been a fourth and a second, but they were 2 apart.
Close. 3rd down and 9. Manning throws, almost intercepted. Ken Irvin has been a busy man tonight. Breaks that one up. He's been flagged twice. He's broken up a couple intended for Harrison.
And the best part is, Al, that the last 2 plays that Manning has gone after him, he's been up to it, knocking the ball away. This is really great anticipation by Irvin. He's got his hands all over Harrison, though. I mean,
How do you not call that?
I don't know.
Huh?
I guess he figures he gets his hands on him every play. They're not going to call it every play.
That's brilliant. I love that. That's probably true.
Hunter Smith, booming kick. Fielded by Peerless Price at the 19-yard line, and he runs it back to the 29. So it was a 10-yard run back after a booming 62-yard Smith kick. From the 30-yard line, Johnson on 1st down gives it to Bryson. And Bryson takes it up to the 39-yard line, tackled by Mike Peterson. Let's check in with Melissa.
Al, after the Bills went 3 and out on that last series, Bills offensive line coach Carl Mock chewed out Robert Hicks. He came over, he basically said, make the play. Well, it appears he's not going to have the chance to do that. He's sitting on the bench.
Carl Mock looks like a blocking sled in a band lawn.
Carl Mock is also my first center in the NFL going back in 1973, and he was just the same way, although he was about 100 pounds lighter.
Yeah, how comfy were you tucking your hands in there?
Pardon me, you're breaking up on me there. I didn't hear that.
Chris Farley starring in the Carl Mock story. 1st and 20. John Carmen replaces Hicks. And Johnson is out of bounds at the 19-yard line. That is Larry Chester who forces him out, and he will be credited with a sack. That's a loss of 1.
And you know, you'd think that when you're 1st down and 20, just throw this ball away. But even he has trouble making that decision on the run here. Looked like he wanted to load it up and let it go right there, but instead tucked it down and stepped out of bounds with that 1-yard loss.
Is he reluctant, Dan, or do you think it's just a subconscious tell that he'd rather take a sack than throw an interception?
Maybe it's his dad being a high school coach has burned it into him. Don't throw the ball.
2nd and 21. Into traffic and incomplete. That's Peerless Price. It'll be 3rd down and 21. Talking about sacks, here's what Rob Johnson has to say about them.
It just seems like unfairly you're portrayed as a guy who holds the ball, so that's what, you know, they think all the sacks are your fault. But I'll take my fair share of the blame, but you know, I think it's a team game, and offensive is a team sport, so I think it should go the whole offensive side of the ball.
I feel guilty. That's what I was saying about him. Sorry, take it back.
3rd and 21. Johnson throws for Price, who makes the catch, but can he get the 1st down? He appears to be a little short of it. He steps out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line.
Well, they always bring the marker from across the field, it seems.
They do.
No, not this time. He's right at the marker. But this is interesting. Watch him jump forward after the catcher is about 4 yards short.
Ooh.
I think he's going to come up. They're going to give him the 1st down, which is incredible.
Yes.
Looks like he was a good half-yard short, because when he landed out of bounds, he was still short of the marker.
Right. They gave him a great spot. Great for Buffalo. On a 3rd and 21.
They must have just shown it. The fans flipped out.
Right. And this is Sean Bryson to the 46-yard line. One thing that, you know, that Buffalo raced up to the line of scrimmage, it's conceivable Indy could have challenged that. You can challenge the spot.
And I think the Colt players were expecting a challenge, because they certainly weren't ready for this play. Best running play of the night for the Bills.
There it is again. That's one of those plays the Bills know it was dubious enough to get up to the line of scrimmage before it can be challenged, and they were able to do that.
Well, you know, Moore is like 1 out of 12 on challenges. The guy is definitely afraid. I just think he thinks it's not his thing.
That's really a good point, because when you're 1 out of 12, you don't want to be 1 out of 13.
No,
But he could have been 2 out of 13 on that one.
you're down below the Mendoza line there.
Yeah, that's not good.
Wade Phillips, 2 years as the head coach at Denver before he left and Mike Shanahan came in. His father, Bum, of course, longtime Oiler coach, then at New Orleans. And in fact, Wade finished up one season in the mid-'80s as the interim coach of the Saints. 2nd down and 9. Johnson avoids an initial sack, then guns it out of bounds. That was Brad Scioli again getting the start tonight, making the most of it. 3rd down and 9. Wade Phillips, dad is still living in Texas, speaks with him a couple of times a week. A Texan, born and raised, and played for the University of Houston. He succeeded Dan Reeves at Denver for those 2 seasons. Then out he went, now in his 3rd year as the head coach at Buffalo.
You can tell he's Bum's kid. I asked him about a player who had a high ankle injury. He said, not a high ankle, it's a low knee.
3rd down and 9. Johnson, and that's incomplete. And Price is looking for the flag and says, thank you very much. Covered by David Macklin.
David Macklin having a tough time controlling Fearless Price. Price is 81, Macklin 27. And again, this little push right there with that right arm.
Defense, number 27. Ball will be placed in spot of the foul. 1st down.
Jason Belzer came on the blitz from the safety spot. That's why Johnson went deep. Here's Belzer, and watch the pickup here by number 38, Sean Bryson. He's going to drill Belzer right in the chin and stop him dead. Actually, that was Tony Blevins coming on the safety blitz. 26.
Fearless Price helped that a little.
Now from the 23, Johnson to the end zone, and that's off the hand of Eric Moulds, who has been held catchless to this point in the game, and that's the Penn State rookie Macklin with the coverage.
I guess if you're number 27 and you play defensive back, you're going to be thrown at him all night long. Both Macklin and Ken Irvin have been challenged by receivers tonight. Made some good plays, made some bad plays.
Eric Moulds with 86 receptions, well on his way into triple figures this season. But tonight, a goose egg to this point. Bryson to the 22-yard line, tackled there by Bernard Whittington.
Moulds first started, coached, and was scouted out of college by Anthony Van Leeuwenhoek.
By what?
I mispronounced his name. Seen as a guy named Leeuwenhoek who discovered bacteria. And I was going to say Moulds was scouted by him.
Gotcha.
But I got to the name, and I had turf tongue. I couldn't even get it out.
That's a turnover.
I was doing it for the Britannica.com kid.
You can't explain your stuff.
You're right. My cheese was weak.
3rd down and 9. Johnson, sack, 28-yard line. Cornelius Bennett, and a pretty big sack in as much as it turns it into a 45-yard field goal instead of maybe a 36 or 37-yard field goal. And Johnson is slow in getting up.
Yeah, he got it hit right around the legs.
Leeuwenhoek.
Cornelius Bennett with the sack goes for low, but he had to go low. He was stumbling as he approached the quarterback.
Now Steve Christie for a 46-yard field goal. Hooking, but good. Had a little draw on it.
Nice drop.
But put it on the green. 6-6. Johnson wobbly when he came off the field, so there is Robb. They work on him. We'll keep an eye on him. The game tied 6-6. The kickoff taken at the 6-yard line by Jerome Pathan. Oh. Good run back up to the 41-yard line. Put the Colts in good field position here with 6:22 to go in the opening half.
That was the prototypical carrying it like a loaf of bread.
That, again, Dennis, what you talked about, special teams, the Bills don't return them and they don't cover them very well. All the way out to the 40-yard line, and this is great field position obviously.
Good to see Bill Polian every time we're in here.
General manager, of course, Bill Polian helped to build the 4 Buffalo Super Bowl teams. And he was there in the late 80s and early 90s. On first down, Manning to throw, and he guns it to the 44 of Buffalo, where it's hauled in by Marvin Harrison.
This is just Harrison's second catch of the night, but Irvin's thinking deep. Sharp cut to the outside, waiting on the ball. Easy completion for Harrison, but Irvin's got to be second-guessing himself on that one.
Without a huddle, 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. This is James. Cuts it back, picks up 9. That catch by Harrison, by the way, the 395th of his 5-year-old career. No player in the history of the NFL has caught more passes over his first 5 seasons than that man.
Well, it looks like the triplets decided to go to their bread and butter here. They went to Harrison on the first play, give it to the other direction to Edgerrin James, just to get their rhythm back.
Well, now watch for play action after a good run like that.
Instead, they give it to James, who picks up the first down. If this game is deja vu for Monday night fans, the Bills and the Colts met once previously on Monday night in 1997. The final score, 9-6 Buffalo. All field goals in the game. It was only the second game in the history of the league with all field goals and no turnovers. And tonight's game begins in that same fashion. 4 field goals, no turnovers. From the 34-yard line, first down. Check in with Eric.
Well, Al, on the sidelines, Howard Mudd, offensive line coach, held the whole offense up and asked him, how bad do you want it? If you lose, you go home. Also, Peyton Manning came over and said, we've got to stop making mistakes. And he's right. If you lose, you go home.
And that is the case tonight, as we stated at the top. The loser of this game plays out the string. The winner stays alive and must win out to have a chance to get into the playoffs. 2nd and 10 goes next to nowhere.
Well, these 2 teams have been brought back to earth this year, Al, by the fact that they're playing the brutal schedule. The NFC East is brutal enough track, but then the division they play this year, who do they go to? The NFC Central, right? So you're talking about Minnesota, you're talking about Tampa Bay.
You're talking a pretty good, well-coordinated defense that time. We were checking John Holisek out there. He scraped by and was looking for the cutback. Edgerrin James, one of the best cutback runners, but not that time.
3rd and 10. Play clock down to 1. They've already used 2 timeouts. Do they get it off? No. A delay of game here.
I really don't understand it either, Al. Here they're playing at home.
Prior to the snap, false start.
And that false start there was because Manning was hurrying the snap count, trying to beat the clock.
So they've been forced to use 2 timeouts, taken a delay, haven't gotten the ball into the end zone. James tonight a pedestrian beginning, and he has not caught a pass. Edgerrin with 50 catches this season, 2nd on the team to Harrison coming into the game. 3rd down and 15. 4-man rush, but breaking free was Corey Moore to chase him and force him to throw it away. Corey Moore, a rookie from Virginia Tech, and again with Rodgers and Coward both hurt, a guy like Moore gets a chance. Nobody blocked him, and he forced him to throw it away.
Actually, he forced him to step out of bounds, and that will go down as a sack for Corey Moore. Official right on the play, and before Manning could toss it out of bounds, he stepped out of bounds. So give a sack to Corey Moore, his 2nd of his young career.
Well, that was an instance where the quarterback should have dragged his feet.
And that was, in effect, a 10-yard sack. Hunter Smith. His punt, fair Fair catch called for, made by Peerless Price at the 19-yard line. 3:46 remaining in the first half.
Al, you mentioned how Edgerrin James was a surprise 4th pick in the draft in 1999. Well, he paid that trust off by leading the league in rushing and earning Rookie of the Year honors. And nobody has done it with more personal style, from the dreadlocks and the gold tooth. Although it is tough to project too far in the future, by averaging over 100 yards rushing a game, it's easy to predict greatness for Edgerrin James.
Oh, Edgerrin, obviously a running back who's maxed his abilities out. On the other side of the line for the Buffalo Bills, where's Antoine Smith? 3rd string now? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, #1 pick in 97. That plays very sparingly because Sean Bryson has really taken over as their primary running back right now. In fact, Antoine Smith has averaged only 2.5 yards per carry this season. A look at the numbers for the quarterbacks.
And I think you got to put a question mark here on Johnson. We'll see how well he can operate with that knee injury. Last time out, Cornelius Bennett looked like he got his right knee, but Johnson's back out there.
And you know, if Antoine Smith's not in against Indy, he's not against anybody out, because he's got 8 TDs in 6 games against the Colts.
Hasn't seen any action yet tonight. 2nd down and 7. And that is caught. That's Peerless Price, who was bumped out of bounds a couple of yards shy of the first down by Mustafa Mohammed. I think back to that Bills defense. Eric made the point at the top as we watch the play again. The coverage by Mohammed. Only one defensive player to the Pro Bowl in 22 years for the Colts.
And the last defensive back is an old teammate of mine in San Diego. Bruce Bubba Laird went to the Pro Bowl back in '72. I think that's when the games were still shown in black and white.
Well, they've got some odd streaks going here at Indianapolis. Between that and the fact they never get any takeaways, there's a couple long-running themes with this team.
3rd down and 2. Johnson throws, and reaching up and making the catches, Remersma, the tight end, and a flag comes down. There's a flag back at the 24, and then there's one all the way upfield at the 45.
Well, the one in the backfield's on Sean Bryson for going low and chopping a chop block while the defensive end is engaged by the offensive tackle, Robert Hicks. So they're going to have a little discussion.
Exactly.
Chop block, personal foul, chop block, 38 in the offense. Personal foul, face mask, 37 defense. Those penalties are all set. Replay, repeat, 3rd down.
Here's Bryson, here's Scioli, and here is Robert Hicks. Hicks is going to be blocking here, and now watch as Bryson goes low. Actually, that's Mark Thomas. Now Chad Coda's going to come in here and grab the face mask of Remersma. That's a good call by the official. You can see the potential for injury there.
I know, only in the violent world of the NFL could you have a potential knee ruiner and a face mask on the same play, and they offset each other. That'll tell you something.
You know, I'm not so sure that Coda ever really grabbed the face mask.
No.
Looked like he was cradling the helmet of Remersma. But anytime you get your hand up there, dimples or not, Chad's going to get called.
Right, and you turn his head. Back once we came now, 3rd and 2. Sammy Morris is in the backfield, number 45. He stays in the block, and Johnson gets sacked anyway on a safety blitz by Jason Belzer.
Beautifully timed by Belzer.
I mean, that's a part of the inexperience that Johnson has. You always got to be aware of where the safeties are. If he blitzes here, you've got to throw the ball out here to your wide receiver. Here comes Belzer. He beats the block on the inside of Marcus Spriggs, because Spriggs had to go outside. But the quarterback's got to be responsible for the safety blitz.
2-minute warning after Belzer's 4th sack of the year. Game time. To the halftime show. We've had our mic'd up feature all year, and tonight the best of the mic'd up that you've seen at halftime this year. We'll also take a look at next week's Ram-Buck game, and we'll have the BCS matchups for you coming up on the Toyota halftime show.
I researched that Dutch microbiologist name out. It's Jay Leeuwenberg.
And his brother. This is Chris Moore. to the 39-yard line. Wilkins loses the ball, picks it back up, turns the corner, and brings it back to the 44. So a thrill and a half for Terrence Wilkins after Sheldon Jackson had knocked it away.
It's like Wilkins had run his own reverse.
Yeah, he got a nice AstroTurf bounce, too. 88 is Jackson. But it seems like whenever the ball's on the ground on a kickoff return or a punt return, it just stops the covering team. And if the returner can get after like Wilkins does there, he's got some going once he gets by Rayon Hill there.
What about that unbelievable bounce Isaac Bruce got yesterday towards the end of that game?
Yeah.
A lot of highlights yesterday. It's all heating up, folks.
First down at the 44. Game time, 1:44. Screen. James.
Nice tackle.
To the 48. Remember, the Colts used 2 timeouts, so they're down to 1. Chris Watson makes the hit.
That's his second big hit on Edgerrin James. Edgerrin's going to be saying, where's this guy coming from?
Beautiful.
From the bottom of the screen, looks like it's a well-designed play. It's going to get the Colts a lot of yards, but here comes 21.
2nd and 6. Manning guns it off the shoulder pad of Dilger and incomplete.
Might have been thrown to the back shoulder, and Dilger didn't get around on it.
Well, just as we mentioned, Dilger was having his best season. He got dinged on that play early. Maybe he's still a little cloudy because he usually makes that catch.
Total yards, not much. As the Bills are at 113. Indianapolis, 96 total yards in almost a complete half. 3rd down and 6 from the 48-yard line. Manning throwing, caught, 1st down, and the catch is made by Terrence Wilkins.
Yeah, we're seeing Manning roll out of the pocket a lot tonight. The Bills only have 34 sacks on the year, but he rolls out just enough to find Wilkins on the crossing route. Wilkins used his speed to pick up that first.
Good for linebacker Newman to track him all the way like that.
And even with going out of bounds, they still run the hurry up, and this is James. James gets taken down at the 39-yard line. Taken down by Darryl Porter. It'll be 2nd down and 6 at the 39. Again, Indianapolis, just 1 timeout remaining. Manning caught, coming over the middle is Harrison on a slant, flag throw. Marmon takes it to the 23.
They're going to get Ken Dilger for a pick on that play. He went down the field and just blocked the defensive back. That allowed Harrison to come underneath.
It's going to be offsetting.
You know, the guy who the Dilger picked did a smart thing. He grabbed Dilger on the way down to take him out of the play, and I think he screwed the call up.
I think you're right.
53 defense. Pass interference, 85 offense.
Ken Dilger.
Those penalties are offset. Repeat, 2nd down.
I'm not sure he thought that was the call he'd get the offsetting on him. It was almost like Dilger screened him, and he just said, okay, I'll hang on to you, pal.
It makes it 2nd down and 6 at the 39-yard line. Manning out of the gun. All night long, the play clock has gone all the way down. A flag is thrown by the head linesman. And that pass is in and out of the hands of Wilkins, knocked away by Henry Jones.
That time, I think Manning's hard count got the Bills into the neutral zone.
Phil Hansen, I think.
Offside defense. Left defensive end. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
That is Hansen.
Boy, we were talking to Bill Polian before the game, and he was singing Hansen's praises to the high heavens.
You know, he's in a stand-up stance there, 2-point stance that time. Actually, that's Fred Jones.
Fred
99.
Jones is 99 is who he was. Second down and 1 at the 34-yard line. Manning caught by James, and he stays in bounds at the 22-yard line, and that's going to force them to take the timeout. Manning's trying to get them up there to spike the ball and then realizes he can't. So James, instead of running out of bounds to save a couple of seconds and give them the opportunity to use the timeout by staying in bounds, forces them to use the timeout and forces them to come back and attempt a 38-yard field goal to take the lead. Here is a 39-yard field goal attempt by Mike Vanderjagt, who throughout his career has never missed a kick, a field goal attempt in December. Still has it. Indy has the lead, but the crowd doesn't like it. The Colts go off the field serenaded by boos as the Colts on 3 Vanderjagt field goals lead the Buffalo Bills at the half 9-6. Let's check in with Melissa.
All right, Al, Wade Phillips, your defense, which is just decimated by injuries, has held the Colts offense to just 3 field goals. What's been the key?
Well, they had some penalties, or they wouldn't have got that. You know, I think they're playing as hard as they can. We got a good group of young guys that are trying as hard as they can, and they've come through. But it's going to be tough the second half too. All
right, Wade, thanks. Let's go over to Eric.
Coach, you had to call 2 timeouts early in the game. Why? They wasn't getting the plays in on time, or what?
No, we were getting the plays in on time. We were having to adjust our blocking assignments because of some shifting they were doing up there. Then we had a little bit of a communication problem. We got it straightened out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, gang, so it's halftime at the RCA Dome with a score. Indy 9, Buffalo 6. So we've got a halftime show coming up when we come back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. And back in Indianapolis, Al Michaels, Dan Fouts, Dennis Miller, Eric Dickerson, and Melissa Stark as Week 15 comes to its conclusion. Loser of this game mathematically eliminated from postseason play. Winner lives on.
Congratulations on your Rudy Award, Al. Is that like an Oscar in a bad sport jacket?
Most important thing I've won since I won the Nobel Prize for Physics in '83. This is Chris Watson bringing it back up to the 20-yard line. Tackled there by Billy Austin.
I guess the most important thing when we look at the halftime stats is realize that this ain't much of a shootout unless you're a fan of field goals. We've had 5 tonight. 9-6 is the score. Pretty even across the board, as you might expect. Wade Phillips did talk about the penalties, though, that have hurt the Bills. The Colts have gotten 2 first downs off of those penalties. Amazing for the Bills, though, is that Eric Moulds has yet to catch a ball. There's a guy that has 3 100-yard receiving days against the Colts in a row.
Well, I'm a freak for field goals, so this is my favorite game of the year so far.
Bryson. And I mentioned it before. I keep thinking back to the last time Bills and the Colts played on Monday night 3 years ago. 5 field goals. Indy won it 9-6.
I was kind of hoping you wouldn't mention that, Al. I mean, I was looking at a 35-32 game. You know, something.
Well, this game may feature 10 field goals. Eric Moulds has been blanked. And Harrison was just the 2 catches.
On his first 8 games of the season, Harrison had 7 out of 8 100-yard games. He hasn't had one in the last 5. He's a slight guy. Maybe he wears down.
Johnson. Well, he almost got sacked. Instead, he turns it into about 1.5 yards gain. Scioli makes the hit. 3rd and long upcoming.
This is really a terrible opening drive of the second half for the Bills. Bryson got nothing on first down. Johnson can't find a receiver here on second down. Thinks he's got something up the middle, but Brad Scioli comes off his man and brings him down. Here's Scioli, 99, working against Robert Hicks. Good job by Hicks. Better job by Scioli.
3rd and 9. 4-man rush. Johnson goes down at the 20. That's a sack. Mark Thomas. 4 sacks tonight.
Boy, Johnson does not desert his post, does he, Al?
No.
Stays there for the last minute.
The protection is excellent to begin with. He steps up into the pocket, and his first inclination when he steps up is to run. Sometimes a quarterback should step up and keep thinking throw. Pressure there from Mark Thomas. Not enough time to get that one off.
I remember Joey Montana always did that shuffle step and then would look for the throw.
Chris Moore, and he double clutched it, and it gets blocked. It's picked up at the 20-yard line, run out of bounds at the 25, but Paul Shields is the guy who blocked it. Moore looked like he double clutched, couldn't get the kickoff initially, and then Shields is there to give the Colts great position.
Moore looked like Rob Johnson. Talk about indecision. The double clutch here, and he's going to hit Sheldon Jackson, actually, who was blocking on Paul Shields. Shields will get credit for the block, but this is incredible. Hits Jackson in the right armpit.
It's like,
but what was Moore doing? This is a good snap. Perfect snap. Let it go.
yeah, it's like the football equivalent of the yips. He's like Bert Yancey. He yipped it.
Yep. Yipped it.
Yipped it, yep.
At the 25-yard line, 1st down for Indianapolis. Again, it's the no huddle with every play going down to the last couple of seconds on the play clock. James. Necktie by Henry Jones. He gets inside the 15.
Well, he only had 37 yards in the first half, but you're not going to hold him down for long.
Now you just give him a little bit of a crack in the defense. He's going to explode through it here. Henry Jones bringing him down, and Edgernet will have nothing to do with going out of bounds.
At the 13-yard line, 1st down. Busts his way down the 4-yard line.
That move was quantum.
Well, this is the cutback that he's so famous for. Starts to his left, sees the opening back to his right, makes Holisek miss right there, and Holisek is a pretty good tackler.
Oh, man, that and Marshall Falk yesterday. Did you see that move he laid on somebody from the 5-yard line?
Right, a month after arthroscopic knee surgery. 2nd and 1. James. Does he get in? No signal yet. He at least has the 1st down. We know that. And if they really didn't get in, it's going to be 1st and goal from inside the 1, which is what they're going to rule.
You know, Indy fans have been lucky to watch Eric Dickerson, Marshall Falk, and now Edgerrin James. This is where the Colts are so effective. Give the ball to 32 and let him use his vision. That's a touchdown. I think that he had the ball across the line of scrimmage before his knee was down.
Now here's an interesting challenge. If you don't challenge it, it's 1st and goal, and they're not going to challenge it. They'll just run the play from inside the 1, and they give it to James, and this time he puts it in.
And you can see they learned a lesson from that earlier sequence. Just give it to your hoss and get out of the way.
Give it to him 4 times in a row. 25 yards after the mistake by the punter, Chris Moore.
Edgerrin James becoming only the 3rd player in the history of the league to score 15 touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons.
This is no doubter either. Look how low he goes. Gets in behind Jeff Saturday and Steve McKinney over that left side.
The other 2 guys, Billy Sims and Curtis Martin, as a Patriot, scoring 15 in each of their first 2 years. Vanderjagt's extra point is good. We finally have a touchdown. 16-6.
I wonder if Aikman's done, Al. What do you think?
Which one?
Aikman might be done.
Yeah, 10th concussion of his career yesterday. Danny Kite to kick off. Bouncing ball fielded at the 6. This is Sean Bryson back to return the kick. And Bryson back up to the 31-yard line. Buffalo takes over there with 10:44 to go in the third. A 10-point Indy lead. Buffalo out of the shotgun as they begin this drive, down by 10, and Johnson gets sacked for the 5th time tonight. That's Chad Bratsky.
Well, that one wasn't his fault. Definitely Bratsky got there post haste.
That's Bratsky, 62, with a nice move there with a double hand slap. That got both of Marcus Spriggs' hands off him and gave him a clear path to the quarterback. Great move by Bratsky.
Second and long. Johnson throws. That is caught. Sammy Morris. Johnson tonight has dropped back to pass 18 times. He is 6 of 13 with 5 sacks. So that's 18 dropbacks, 5 sacks.
Well, that's why I'm wondering why Wade Phillips is so adamante about not putting Flutie in. Your season's in the lurch here. Your guy's getting sacked. Why not put the guy who can avoid it in there?
And when a quarterback gets sacked, it's so demoralizing to his offensive line. And on the other side of the ball, it just is such a lift for the opponent.
3rd and 9. Johnson tries to jam it into Moles, and Burris intercepts. The former Buffalo Bill, Jeff Burris, picks one off against his old mates.
Wow. What a terrible way to start the second half. You get a punt block on your first possession after 3 plays and out. And now this prayer of a throw as Burris is running the route for Eric Moulds. Easy interception, his 3rd of the year.
See, I think he's just being a little obstinate not going to Flutie after this if he doesn't. I mean, you need the relief pitcher. Bring in Hawk Regan.
Bratsky coming with some pressure. Spriggs does a super job on him, keeping him off and then burying him. But now he looks up and sees the interception.
You mean the vulture, Phil Regan?
Oh, sorry. I meant the Hawk Ken Harrelson.
Hawk was Clay Carroll.
All right.
From the 43-yard line. Manning going deep, but too deep. Overthrows Jerome Pathan.
Well, the vultures are circling the Bills right now if they don't bring somebody in, because they might not be dead, but they're floating up near the ceiling looking down at their own hospital bed.
Doug Flutie, who's had his helmet on the sideline a good part of the game, but right now content with the jacket and the baseball cap.
And there was a point in that first half when Cornelius Bennett hit Rob Johnson in the knees. It looked like Flutie might come in the game.
That's a blue hat. He's just steaming.
One reason he wears the helmet, of course, is to listen to the plays coming in. 2nd down and 10. This is Terrence Wilkins. Taken down by Ken Irvin.
This has got to be the toughest defense in the league to run a reverse or a trick play on. Ted Cottrell and Wade Phillips have been using this offense for this defense rather, for a long time. You can see when Wilkins gets to the outside that the force is there by Ken Irvin, and he's got help from John Hollisek.
8:45 left in the third. 3rd down, 10. Indy from its own 43. His way out of the pressure, and then it is not caught inbounds. Harrison is ruled out of bounds. He's covered by Travaris Tillman, the rookie from Georgia Tech. Another look here.
Now, this is a heck of a hit by Tillman. Harrison gets his feet in, but Tillman knocks the ball loose. Great shot by the rookie.
You know, you were talking earlier about how the quarterback Johnson steps up and looks to run. You saw a graphic depiction of Manning there. He stepped up, looked to pass.
Very close. Number one, does he have possession with both feet in bounds is the question. I don't think so.
Well, he put his melon right on the rock. It was tough.
This happens right in front of Jim Moore. I mean, Moore is standing right there.
You know, you show this in real time, and it's not even a question. In slow motion, sure, it looks like he might have had possession, but in real time, that ball is out.
Held the clock, man.
And Hunter Smith to punt. Crowd booing. They didn't like the call. They want a challenge. Too late, baby. 24-yard line. That's Fearless Price. Fair catching at 8:24 remaining in the third. Indianapolis 16 and Buffalo 6.
Tis the season.
Buffalo at its own 24-yard line. Johnson, who's been sacked 5 times tonight, decides to start this on the ground. Bryson swings to the outside and powers his way for a gain of 7. Knocked down by Mohammed. There's Marvin Harrison on the Colts bench tonight. 2 catches, 27 yards, but again with those 2 catches, more catches over the first 5 years of his career than anybody in the history of the NFL. Receiving yards per game, as you can see, over the first half of the season, 120 over the last 5, and 3 of those have been defeats. Just 54, and tonight only 27 in the 2 grabs. Second down and 3. Bryson takes the ball up to the 35-yard line, and that's a first down.
You know, Al, you mentioned Mustafa Muhammad on the last play. His first start tonight. He's doing a great job, isn't he? I mean, haven't really saw him get taken on a deep route yet, and he's made a couple nice tackles.
He's taking the spot normally occupied by one Tyrone Poole. Obviously, Poole, I don't want to say he's in the doghouse, but he came out of the lineup, and I said to Jim Mora last night, does he play in the nickel? No. Does he play in the dime? No.
He's close to the doghouse.
Let's just say Poole is stagnant.
First and 10. This is Sammy Morris, who puts his shoulder down and takes it up to the 41-yard line. Mora was blown away talking about his defense last night when we mentioned to him that the Colts had sent only 1 defensive player to the Pro Bowl in 22 years.
I know. I saw his jaw drop when you told him. He said, "Is that true?"
I said, Jim, it's not just you. You've only been here for 3 years.
And they're really lean with the takeaways, aren't they? It's amazing how one team could have that few takeaways over a protracted period of time like that.
Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, second down and 4 from the 41-yard line. And Bryson takes it up to the 45, a little short of the first down. 6.5 to go in the third.
You wonder if they had a conversation on the sidelines of the Bills there as far as Joe Pendry, offensive coordinator, and Wade Phillips, and said, hey, let's get the ball on the ground. Let's run the ball against the Colts. Remember, last time the Colts played the Jets, they gave up 203 yards rushing to Curtis Martin. The Bills run a lot of the similar plays. And you know that Wade Phillips hated seeing that interception.
Look at that. Last week, the pass rating for Buffalo in the Miami game was 0.
Not much better tonight.
3rd and 1. It's in the 30s tonight. And this is Sammy Morris taking it up to the 46-yard line. And again, with pass rating, if you are down under 85, let's say, Dan.
Well, let me look at my career stats before you say 85. Al.
80, you're not having a very good night.
But how do you get a
career.
0? What do you mean? They have no completions?
It's a computation that factors in yardage and interceptions and various other components, and you can have a 0, which they had last week.
That looked like a dimpled Chad Cota on that tackle. Man, was he hit.
Dan, by the way, your career rating was 80. Johnson, down he goes at the 45-yard line. That's going to be another sack. Franscioli, and that's a half dozen sacks of Johnson tonight.
You know, this is not a great pass rushing team of the Colts. They came into the game with only 28, and now 6 times Johnson's gone down.
You know, my quarterback passing rating is 0. I'm tied with some.
Well, the Colts defense tonight, that was Belzer on that safety blitz, and Johnson going down 6 times, including on the last play. You know, it's 6 sacks, 21 dropbacks for him.
You'd think he'd get tired of getting hit. I mean, if you throw the ball away, especially with the rules they are today, you can throw the ball away and not get hit. and not take that punishment.
Well, obviously, you can read the tea leaves here. Flutie is gone next year.
4:47 left in the third. An injury timeout. Back in a moment. After the timeout was taken by Buffalo on second and long. Sammy Morris makes the catch and is taken down at the Indianapolis 45-yard line, 2 yards shy of a first.
You know, it's weird because through the mere lethargy with which the Bills are playing, they've managed to quiet the crowd here.
Yeah, they've taken the crowd out of the game.
They've just
poorly
put them in a stupor.
Well, the crowd, as you look at Sammy Morris, the Texas Tech rookie, crowd booed the Colts off the field at the half. Booed when they didn't challenge a call before. We mentioned Johnson, highest sack rate since the merger. And this time, it is taken out of the air by Bernard Holsey. And it will be a sack, a fumble, a return, and a touchdown. Jeff Burris forced it, and Holsey's the beneficiary.
Wow. They got to pull this kid. It's getting ugly now. He doesn't have a good sense of the periphery. Let's put it that way.
He's not reading the defenses. You can see Burris coming on the corner blitz. Again, the quarterback is responsible for whenever a secondary man, a safety or a corner comes on a blitz, he's got to recognize it in his pre-snap read, go to the hot receiver, heads up by Halsey as he picks it up on one bounce, and the big guy here at Indianapolis is off to the races.
So you say they had 28 sacks coming into this game. What's that, 7 now? They've got 25% of their season sacks?
The challenge is going to be that it was a forward pass. They've thrown the red flag. Here's Triple to make the announcement.
Buffalo has challenged the ruling on the field that it is a fumble.
This is a good challenge. Why not? What do you got to lose? If you win the challenge, you save yourself some points.
Johnson's ready to throw the white flag.
You know, the ball went forward.
Right.
And that may come back as an incomplete pass.
Exactly right.
Burris got the hit on him, but Johnson's strength, remember that strong right arm, pushes the ball forward, but is it enough for that to be considered an incomplete pass and not a fumble?
And that's what they'll look at here. Is it coming forward? Is it an incomplete pass? Which would mean it was still Buffalo's ball at that spot, or a fumble.
Well, it'll be Buffalo's ball at the previous spot where the ball was snapped, because that'd be an incomplete pass, and you break this big man's heart. I gotta believe, because the ball is going forward and it looked like Johnson pushed it out with his right hand, he may get this call.
You know, when they showed that high end zone shot of the play, you could see the eye screws on top of the goalpost, and they had no orange flags on them. No wind in here to judge, I guess. Just a little sidebar now.
The question is normally it's much more clear if a quarterback's arm is coming forward.
And you know, Burris came with his right hand and actually pushed Johnson's hand forward.
Exactly. It's almost as if Burris, by virtue of the way he hit him, propelled the ball forward. Well, Triplett's had his look. He's made his decision. And
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The tackler hit the quarterback's hand. Therefore, as long as it goes forward and a fumble, it is a touchdown, Indianapolis.
you know, the more I think about it, Dan, I think they got it right.
I do too.
Yeah, it was a momentum thing.
Especially if you look at Burris, and don't keep your eyes on the quarterback or the arm. Watch Burris. Watch his right hand go for Johnson's right arm. He hits it, pushes it forward, and Halsey's got himself 6.
Halsey with a nice pickup there, by the way.
And insult to insult, that cost Buffalo a timeout for the challenge. They're down to just 1. Vanderjagt tacks on the extra point. Fangio, the defensive coordinator, watching his unit finally come up with a big play. 23-6. This happened during the commercial break. That's Jeff Triplett explaining to Wade Phillips, and you can see him explaining that Burris made contact that forced the ball forward out of Johnson's hand, and thus it was ruled a fumble. Dan fielded now at the 1-yard line by Sean Bryson. And for a guy like Holsey, there he is. He played with the Giants for 4 years. This is game number 78 in his career. It's his first touchdown. And what better way for a defensive lineman to score a touchdown than on Monday Night Football?
Very smooth pickup. You got to give it to him. That was no gimme.
And they don't get many fumble recoveries. That's just their 6th all year long. That's an incredible number this late in the season.
You know, it's funny. Halsey had started every game this season until tonight, and Mora was trying to shake up the defense. He benched Poole. He put Halsey on the bench, and then Halsey winds up running one in for a score.
And Halsey's getting the rest on the bench right now after his 48-yard run. Scioli's in.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Johnson sacked 8 times tonight. 8 times. That's Scioli. That's his 2nd. And he thus becomes, as Johnson gets up, hurt. Scioli's the first guy with a multiple sack game tonight. Every other Bill, they had 7 sacks of Johnson. 7 Colt sacks by 7 different players until just then.
Well, Johnson doesn't have the best radar, does he, Dan?
Well, his instincts are just a little bit off here. He's looking to buy time by running out of the pocket. The safest place on the field is in the pocket. Step up into the pocket, not away from it.
Swing pass. Bryson forced out of bounds up at the 26-yard line. Just about the original line of scrimmage. So
well, that play makes some
3rd down and
sense.
10.
I mean, knowing your quarterback's getting popped like this regularly, why not go with some quick hitters, right?
Well, I love the way that Bryson set up his block there. Really bailed out his center, Jerry Ostrowski, there on the outside. But you're right, Dennis. When the pass rush is coming, you want to throw screens and run some draws.
You know, 5-step drops is akin to falling on your seppuku sword at this point. I mean, they're going to get the kid. Do that short set, Dan. You taught me that.
3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Johnson throws, finds the open man, and that time it's Jeremy McDaniel, and they convert. He takes it up to the 45-yard line.
He got knocked down again.
By Ellis Johnson, number 62. Watch Ellis continue to battle up front there, and he just kisses his fellow Johnson.
That's a family reunion now. Ellis got his money's worth.
That's a family feud.
Here we are 43 minutes into the game. Eric Moulds still does not have a reception. Hello? Just say it, and there it is. To the 21-yard line. So it took him almost 44 minutes, but he finally makes his 87th catch of the season.
And you can see what he can do after he catches the ball. Big, strong, got a nasty streak to him. Here he is, number 80, right here. Watch after the catch. He's going to punish Chad Cota and then take on David Macklin and get all the way inside or right down to the 20-yard line.
Plus, Johnson got your note about stepping up in the pocket, Dan. That's 2 patterns in a row he's done it.
1st and 10 at the 20. Nice one-handed catch made by Bryson. He had to reach behind him, and then he fights his way all the way to the end zone or just short. They're going to rule him out at the 1-yard line. What a play by the 2nd-year running back. Injured all of last year, reaching back to make the catch, doing an NHL spinorama move and almost getting into the end zone.
Well, the bad pass worked in their favor that time because it got him going in that direction.
Yeah, it stopped his momentum. He came back the other way. Eric Moulds helps him out there at the very end. Bryson got real close to sticking it inside that pylon, didn't he? Oh, great call. His foot was out of bounds.
From the 1-yard line. Johnson.
Dump it.
He does dump it. He got outside the tight end box. I think a flag was thrown in the end zone.
Sorry, he's got me emotionally involved now.
Well, what you're voicing is what all Buffalo Bill fans are voicing. They're going to like this call. But I know that Carl Mark, offensive line coach.
Defense, number 37. Half the distance, automatic first down.
And what I don't understand, though, is if he does throw it away, he doesn't take some of these hellacious hits he's taking. I mean, how much can the young man take? He just got drilled that time by Cornelius Bennett.
Look at that left arm.
Yeah, he's bleeding, making a mess of the place. Here's Bennett, 97. Coming up and down. Man.
He could have dumped that a millisecond earlier. Nothing.
Penalty half the distance from the goal line. First and goal from the 1. Sammy Morris with a sideways vault for a touchdown.
He got up there, stuck the ball out in his left hand, one-handed, to break the plane for the score.
Sammy went high. He was up at the Hillary step.
Pretty risky try there.
Nice.
Look at that. Beautiful heads-up play by Sammy Morris. Risky.
And a bad snap. If they can somehow, well, forget that. I was going to say if they can convert it, would it be 2 points? Forget it.
If they could convert, they wouldn't be 7-6. Ethan Albright with the high snap there. And again, special teams kill the Bills.
Too bad Bernie Halsey wasn't the holder there. Might have picked that up.
Here's the snap. Way too high for Chris Moore and way too hot.
Too high and too hot. Perfectly described, my man.
Oh, Wade. It's like sometimes Wade's like Joe Blixfix, that guy from Little Abner with a cloud over his head, you know.
There's Ethan Albright. You know, the tough thing is that's all he does on the team is snap for punts and place kicks. You get one like that, you never live it down.
So it's 23-12. And it could be fairly significant in the sense that now a field goal and a touchdown, but the touchdown will require a 2-point conversion with it to tie the game. Here's Christie. Fielded at the 28. That's Bernard Halsey. He can't get enough of the football tonight.
They kicked it right to him.
Let's check in with Melissa.
Al, Eric Moulds has had just 1 catch tonight. The Dolphins kept him out of the game last week, just as the Colts are doing tonight, which is surprising because overall this year he has had tremendous success. One of the reasons why in the offseason, for the first time ever, he worked out with Chris Carter and Randy Moss of the Vikings. He said that they worked on speed. He watched the way that they ran their routes, and he feels like he's reading coverages a lot better. Now, he is a free agent in 2001, and the Bills have already said that re-signing him is one of their top priorities.
At the 38-yard line, they could also put the franchise tag on if they had to. This is Edgerrin James. And he picks up 8 as he steps out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
You know, we've been kind of beaten up on Rob Johnson. Let's give him some credit on that drive. A perfect 4 for 4 for 73 yards, and he did get Eric Moulds off the schneid.
I don't understand why Phillips has Christie do that little pooch kickoff out there. The team starts off on the 40-yard line. I mean, yeah, you might not break it for a touchdown, but it's a little too much to give a team out to the 40.
Indy does not have to run a play prior to the expiration of time. Third quarter is over. We'll go to the 4th with the score. Indianapolis 23, Buffalo 12. And Monday Night Football returns after this message from our ABC stations. Quarterbacks, one figure we should also throw in with Rob Johnson is the fact he's been sacked 8 times tonight. Meanwhile, Manning just 95 yards in 3 quarters, but his team leads by 11. It is 2nd down and 2 as we start the 4th quarter with Edgerrin James threading his way up to the 48-yard line, and what should be a first down when they unpile. Rushing yards about even. Bills with more passing yardage, and most of that yardage on that last drive, a critical drive. And each team with 13 first downs. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for the Colts. Manning over the middle. That is caught by Marcus Pollard. He takes it to the 43, about a yard shy of the first. Manning now finally over the 100-yard mark.
He came into the game as the leading passer in the league as far as passing yardage is concerned. And getting Dilger and Pollard, their 2 tight ends. Great to have 2 weapons like this working over the middle for you.
Manning only had 187 as low for the year in the first meeting between these teams in Buffalo, but Indy won the game 18-16. Now James takes the ball to the 37-yard line, and that's a first down.
And it appears that the Colts feel very comfortable running the ball right in the middle of the Buffalo defense. Big Ted Washington working on Jeff Saturday there. Saturday keeps Washington busy long enough for Edgerrin James to pick up that first down.
Nice job Saturday. Mano a mano. You usually see more than one guy blocking Teddy.
James averaging 4.1. That is the league average at this point this season. From the 37, James again. Picks up 2. ESPN with SportsCenter after the game. Highlights of tonight's game, reports from around the NFL following the conclusion of this one.
Edgerrin stuck his helmet right into Corey Moore's chest there. A little bit like Earl Campbell and Isaiah Robertson. Who's wheeling man?
I don't know.
What was it?
It's your limo driver.
Robbie Knievel, wheelie man.
2nd and 8 from the 34. Manning coming back to try to get it as Harrison, but covered well on the play by Irvin.
Ken Irvin gets a high 5 from Henry Jones. Irvin's having a heck of a day. You know, Big Ted Washington was putting some pressure on Peyton Manning. Watch him again, right in the middle of the screen. He's going to come at Manning right here. Number 92 gets misdirected there. That's 340 pounds, moving pretty good there, Big Ted.
You know, Ted Cottrell, defensive coordinator, is doing a nice job tonight, isn't he, Dano, for Buffalo? Peyton really looks off his speed.
I'm surprised Ted Cottrell's not a head coach. I think he's going to be a great head coach in this league.
He's done a great job all year. Showing blitz. Every flag in the place was thrown.
You know, Sean Price was in the neutral zone. He might have brought the offense off sides.
Prior to the snap, neutral zone infraction. 91 defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Another look.
There he is right here. And that brings Adam Meadows up out of his stance, and another good call.
You know, Jeff Triplett's doing a nice job tonight. I think we've only had Jeff on a Monday night maybe once before. And he's very much in control of the game. Articulately states what's going on. And unfortunately for him, he'll be stigmatized. He was the guy who threw the flag that wound up in Orlando Brown's face mask in that game in Cleveland last year, in effect ending Brown's season and maybe his career. 3rd down and 2. He's done a great job with his crew tonight. And that is caught at the 1-yard line by Terrence Wilkins.
What a throw.
What a catch.
What a throw and catch.
Danny sums it up.
That's usually the way it works. It's pretty good coverage, too, by Chris Watson, 21. Nice in-and-out move by Wilkins. This ball comes right over the top. Perfect throw. Great concentration. Got his feet in bounds before he went out.
See, when we work in unison like that.
It's scary.
All right.
Manning has thrown a touchdown pass in every game this season, but not yet tonight. And plowing straight ahead. Shy of the goal line. James, 2nd and goal.
That Bill defensive line, short yardage and goal line defense with Ted Washington and Pat Williams side by side. Got over 650 pounds working there.
Where's Rosie Potts when you need him?
Second and goal. James. And he gets stuffed again. 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, but they're taking a lot of time off the clock.
Nobody bleeds the clock inside the half-yard line like the Indy Colts. Nobody. You can't tell me different, Dan Fouts.
Jim Mora, a very youthful-looking 65, oldest coach in the league. Several years at New Orleans. Then went into television for a couple of years. 3rd year here. 3rd down and goal from inside the 1. And are we going to get a challenge? That last play was a touchdown. Triplett comes over to the Indy sideline. You get the feeling Morris saying, I didn't buzz you.
Well, he stopped his own team.
Triplett may have felt an inadvertent buzz.
Triplett went over and said,
It's something we've had from time to time, but the way Triplett went over there was almost, you can buzz the official, and that must have vibrated.
Right there on his hip. He got a little jolt there.
But there was no challenge. 3rd and goal. James, and this time he plows his way into the end zone.
It's going to kill his rushing average. Three tries from 1 yard out, but he did get his touchdown. And he really did plow for you. You saw his legs. They never quit churning until he got across the goal line.
And for Edgerrin James, playing in his 30th game in the NFL, this is his 33rd career touchdown. Mike Vanderjagt for the point after. And the Indianapolis Colts trying to stay alive. Still hopeful of a postseason berth. Trying to write an end to Buffalo's season, 30-12. 18-point Indianapolis lead as
there's a fan
taken at the 16-yard line by Bryson, and he runs that back out to the 27. 10:06 remaining in the 4th in Indianapolis. There's the problem in a nutshell for Buffalo's offense. 16 sacks in the last 3 games, 8 tonight. Do the math on it. 54 divided by, this is game number 14, and you're talking about almost 1 1/4.
The Blue Bombers offering a laurel wreath.
1st and 10 from the 28, and that pass is through the hands of Sean Bryson.
You know that.
2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Intercepted. Mustafa Muhammad gets the start tonight. Touchdown, Indy. Jim Mora said we need some big plays. So tonight the defense runs 2 in for touchdowns. They block a Moore punt on special teams. Mora got his big plays, and the Indy season is going to stay alive.
Well, it just officially went from invigorating in Buffalo to just cold. Because I think the towel just came flying in from the corner here tonight. Well, you're going to get a better draft pick. You got to look at it that way.
First touchdown of Mohammed's career. Vanderjagt is the 37th Indy point. It's a rout. 37-12 Colts.
Rob Johnson staring down his receiver, Peerless Price, and right behind him there's Mustafa Muhammad. He can see that Johnson is staring him down. He cuts in front of Price, and now he's thinking touchdown.
Mustafa, nice first start, my man.
A yard into the end zone, Chris Watson. Yard line, so the Bills have it there. 9:38 left, and Doug Flutie will come into the game with his team down by 25. Next Monday, St. Louis against Tampa. Big game. Winner cements a playoff spot. And now Doug Flutie comes in. Doug, who had started in mid-year when Johnson had an injured shoulder, comes in an almost impossible situation and starts with a shovel pass to Bryson, and Bryson does a Ronaldo Nehemiah move and is out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Hurdles over Larry Chester.
Flutie makes the shovel pass and then blocks Brad Scioli.
Well, Brad Scioli is the guy that's going to force him out of the pocket. 99 here. Watch the shovel pass, and there's the block on Scioli. That's Doug Flutie in a nutshell.
Hey, good for Flutie coming in and doing his thing, because, boy, this is a bit of a slap waiting this long to bring him
in. If the Bills lose this game, and that's almost a foregone conclusion, Rob Johnson will have a lifetime record in Buffalo of 8-9. Flutie's record as a starter is 20-9.
Well, I don't know. Either Wade Phillips is Rob Johnson's biggest fan, or he's got issues with Flutie, because certainly the time for the change was maybe around 15 minutes ago, right? Game time?
Yeah, this is an impossible situation for Flutie, and really not very fair to him either.
Flutie on 2nd and 10, 40-yard line. That catch is made by Bryson. And it will be 3rd down and 7.
I love the way Flutie uses his arm at so many angles. He obviously can't throw over these big guys coming in on him. So he goes low with it, he goes half with it. It's like a pitcher who changes his arm position.
He's played so much football in his life, too. He finds little cracks in that pass rush to throw the ball through.
3rd down and 7 at the 40-yard line. Reamersma, hearing footsteps perhaps. Well, whatever, incomplete.
Yeah, he dropped one. There's no question. He'll be the first to tell you, too. That was a strike from Flutie. Reamersma in traffic doesn't come up with his catch. Right through his hands.
Now 4th down and 7. They will go for it with 8.5 to go. Buffalo needs to get, as you can see with the yellow line in the 33, to convert. And they do, because Moulds makes the catch. 2nd grab of the night for him to the 29-yard line and a 1st down.
Little Dougie, he's a piece of work, isn't he?
It's amazing to me that they haven't been able to get Moulds the ball more tonight. That was a big part of their game plan. And when he gets the ball, he's just so big and strong. He easily makes his 1st down.
Moulds with his 88th catch of the year, tying in with McCaffrey of Denver. Tops in the league. Flutie cannot get out of the grasp of Cornelius Bennett.
Now Bennett was playing the role of the spy that time, just mirroring Doug Flutie. Wherever Flutie was going to run out of, there he is. Right side of the screen, you're going to see Bennett come into the picture there, but he was just following Flutie. That was his whole assignment on that defense right there, looking around, finding Flutie, and then making the tackle.
Flutie doesn't even cast much of a shadow.
2nd and 16. That's 9 sacks tonight. Flag is thrown. Flutie throws, nearly picked off at the 7-yard line. Mike Peterson was covering G. Reamersma.
Mike Peterson dropped an interception.
Tripping is the call against Buffalo.
Going to get Marcus Spriggs for this trip.
79 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Those 9 sacks by the Colts tonight, the most by any team in any game this season.
Boy, and that's why Peterson stays on the field for most of the plays. I knew he could tackle. That was beautiful coverage there.
Trip at the left-hand portion of the screen. 2nd down at 25-yard line. Flutie throws. Bryson. And Bryson takes it to the 33-yard line. Bryson's been a busy guy tonight. 15 carries for 45 yards, and that's his 6th reception for 76, and he's going to come off for a minute.
And he's also returned kickoffs. So Sean Bryson getting his money's worth tonight on Monday night.
The Colts turned it upfield for him at the end of that play. Knocked him ahead another yard.
3rd and 15. It's caught by Sammy Morris, who's tackled to the 29. So they are again faced with a 4th down. It'll be 4th and 12.
4th and 12. What's in your playbook here, Danny? Huh?
Oh, this is unfortunate. Bernard Holsey down with a leg injury.
Right, one of the stars of tonight's game shaken up. Injury timeout. Right now the moment is at hand for Buffalo after a 4th and 12 call by Flutie in the huddle to try to keep the ball and stay remotely alive, and he throws it to Price for a touchdown on 4th and 12. Peerless Price.
See, I'm
In for
telling
6.
Flutie. I like the cut of his jib, always have.
Awesome throw by Doug Flutie. Stepping up into the pocket, clear throwing lane, and then hitting Price between defenders. Blevins can't get there. Cota can't get there. Touchdown, Peerless Price. What a throw.
So now they will go for 2. It's a 19-point differential. This is one of those
6 of 1.
either way jobs. Yeah. 17 or 18. But in the meantime, whatever they call in the huddle,
This doesn't look good.
no, it looks pretty grim. It starts as a busted play and ends as a conversion.
It's just some trickery, a little diversion.
Right.
Beautiful stuff.
Throw them a little head fake.
They call that their panic sweep.
We know about head fakes, don't we?
I'll tell you what. Doug Flutie is the epitome of the sandlot quarterback, isn't he? He had guys going left and right, telling them what to do. Big Marcus Spriggs out in front there, and Bryson gets in for the 2-pointer.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. That's the image I get of him, kneeling down in the dirt, just taking a stick and drawing it up.
He's a football player. Always has been.
Price on a 4th and 12. They converted twice on that series on 4th down, a 4th and 7 and a 4th and 12 to at least stay remotely alive in what is now a 17-point game.
Well, Dennis, do you go for the onside kick now, or do you kick it away? It's one of those short pooch kickoffs.
I hate
that's
that
been
pooch
so good
thing.
for the Bills.
I don't even understand that. You think they would have learned in Nashville last year when they tried that half kick, and I'm convinced that they never even get that play off with Dyson and Wycheck if they kick that ball away. That's hindsight's 20/20. But unless Christie has no leg left, you let him kick it away.
You wonder about Christie's leg strength and if it's good enough to get it down to the end zone.
Well, then you got to get one of these kids like other teams have.
43-yard line. So Indianapolis will take over at that spot. The Bills have one timeout at their disposal. Let's go to Melissa.
Al, Peerless Price and Peyton Manning have a unique relationship. They played together at the University of Tennessee for 3 years, and actually Price didn't play a lot his freshman year and planned to go home the summer following, but Peyton would not have it. He convinced Price to stick around. They worked out together. He credits Peyton Manning with helping him out with his work ethic, making him the player he is today. He says without question Peyton Manning is the hardest working player he's ever been around. And in case you're wondering where he got the name Peerless, because it is interesting, his mother named him after a moving company. She saw the name on the side of the truck and she loved it because it means without equal.
Well, I know his brother Allied, and he's a good kid too.
They're one.
That is a Dennis Miller moment there.
Just another 6-yard gain for James. Ball at the 38-yard line. On 2nd and 4. James. First down. So we mentioned that Manning has not thrown a touchdown pass tonight. There's a flag down on that play. Get the call from Jeff Triplett in a moment. But Manning's thrown a touchdown pass in every game this season, which makes us think back 40 years ago today. One of the most unbelievable streaks in NFL history came to an end. Johnny Unitas with the Baltimore Colts threw a touchdown pass in 47 consecutive games, encompassing almost 4 seasons with a shortened schedule in those years. And then it finally came to an end in the Los Angeles Coliseum on December 11th, 1960.
And you were there.
I was there in the end zones for about $3.90.
A lot of people talk about that streak as being akin to what Joe DiMaggio did with the 56-game hitting streak. But look at the difference here, though. Pete Rose got a lot closer to Joe DiMaggio than a lot of quarterbacks have gotten to Johnny U.
Marino 17 behind, or in other words, more than a full season.
Well, look, Peyton Manning's having his 46th consecutive start tonight. Forget touchdown passes. That's just starts.
Second most.
Amazing streak.
To Brett Favre. There was a face mask call against Indy, moving the ball back to the 45-yard line on 2nd and 11. Manning throws and underthrows Marcus Pollard. It'll be 3rd down. Third down and 11 at the 45-yard line. And Manning gets sacked, taken down at the 48-yard line by Keith Newman. Archie Manning making his 2nd career start on Monday Night Football. Dad Archie for 14 years in the NFL, mainly with the New Orleans Saints. And there is Peyton, only 45 touchdown passes behind Pops.
Well, imagine Peyton coming home after a 3-game losing streak until tonight saying, Dad, I'm really upset. Archie's looking at him, get out of here.
Yeah.
Do you realize what a war zone I was in, kid?
Yeah.
You know, Archie can relate to how Rob Johnson must feel getting sacked so many times. And I remember when Archie was with the Minnesota Vikings playing against that great Chicago Bear defensive line. He went down something like 11 times in one game.
Hey, the only guy who faces more shots than Archie Manning was Jules Meloche for the old California Golden Seal. Remember that? He'd get 60 saves a night.
Gilles Meloche, the California Golden Seals.
I just remember him making save after save every night.
Buffalo had taken a timeout there last. This punt fair caught at the 16-yard line by Peerless Price. So they're down by 17. Time remaining is 4:49. They don't have a timeout. And next Monday night to Tampa we go. The Rams off that big win against Minnesota yesterday. Against the Bucs, they met in the NFC Championship game last year. You remember Ricky Proehl's touchdown catch near the end gave the Rams that 11-6 win that sent them to the Super Bowl. Flutie coming in. Here's the playoff picture right now. Minnesota. These are the seedings at the moment. In effect, Minnesota would be #1, the Giants #2. Strangely enough, the Giants have not clinched the playoff spot, but Philadelphia, currently seeded 4th, has, with a record of 10-5. And then the winner of the St. Louis-Tampa Bay game is automatically in. That pass is incomplete. Here's Melissa.
Sam Coward injured his left ankle 2 weeks ago, most likely out for the rest of the regular season. Your defense in the first half played so well. What happened in the second half?
I think they played well overall tonight. I think, you know, with the fumble for a touchdown and the interception for a touchdown, I think that kind of put us behind. But I think overall the young guys stepped up, and I think the defense did a good job tonight.
For all practical purposes, in terms of the playoffs, your season is pretty much over. What is the mood, the emotion of the team right now?
Well, I think the guys definitely thought we can come here and get a win. I think it's very disappointing. My 2 years here, we've been in the playoff, and to be going home early is very different.
Sam, thanks. We wish you a speedy recovery.
Oh, thank you.
Sam Coward and Sam Rogers both hurt. Key figures in the defense, along with Antoine Winfield, Keon Carpenter, so they're -4 starters. 3rd down and 10 here for the Buffalo Bills.
Cornelius Bennett playing that spy position there. Looks like he's enjoying himself, frustrating Doug Flutie. Knocked that pass down.
Blitz.
Wow.
And Moles goes up in the air for it, but can't haul it in at midfield, with David Macklin covering on the play. Eric Moles has made a lot of great catches in his young career. He speaks about them.
I'm really concentrating on first catching the football and really get my hands on it and getting a good grip on the football and then really just maintaining getting the catch first, and then hopefully if it's a sideline catch, get my feet down. So basically no one man on the field at all times. That's the basic things that I do.
Flutie's arm's still there, Al. 55 yards on that last one off the back foot.
Yeah. Well, even though it's 4th down, they're deep in their own territory, down by 17. More punts. This is Wilkins. And it's another big special teams play for Indianapolis, and then 3 flags come in at the end of the play, all simultaneously. If that's a face mask, I guarantee it's the 15-yard variety.
It's 5 each.
Yes. Very good.
Personal foul, face mask. 24, kicking team on the return. Half the distance, automatic first down.
They get Ray Hill for the face mask. This is a great return by Wilkins. He's thinking touchdown the whole way, especially when the game is out of hand such as it is now. There's the face mask by Hill.
It should be a 20-yarder.
Yeah, that left hand, boy, he's got a firm grip on it there.
He was trying to Linda Blair him.
So the ball now at the 13. After Buffalo had punted from the 16, Indy winds up with the ball at the 13-yard line with 4:18 left. James. And that is the coup de grace.
And James is over 100.
They coup de James for the other 3rd touchdown of the night. That one I think he enjoyed. The other 2 he had to go that hard yard right up the middle. He gave the Bills everything he had, even the limp leg at the end to get in the end zone. Just that off tackle that they've run so much tonight. The vision to bounce to the outside, the strength to bounce off a tackler, and then pull his way in standing up.
17 touchdowns last season and 17 this year for Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James trying to lead his team into postseason play, and he talks about the importance of that.
I don't like to do something for nothing, you know, and I'm not a volunteer football player. you know, everybody's allowed to play 16 games. You know, if you're a football player and in the NFL, you're gonna be able to play. You're gonna be able to play 16 games, and you know, I want to play more than 16 games. I don't do all that work in the off season and show up to the meetings and, you know, work hard every day just to play 16 games. I want to, you know, try to max it out.
Well, they're going to stay alive.
You know, he's got 328 carries this year. A phenomenal number.
Well, it's an amazing thing. I mean, they carry a couple of backup running backs, but not really. I mean, when you look at the numbers this year, James with over 300 carries, and then Manning would be next with 31 carries coming into tonight's game. And then Wilkins would be next. He's a wide receiver with 2.
Yeah. Talk about your work Colt.
This is very good. Edger and James. 44-20. It's another big Monday night win for Indianapolis. They beat Jacksonville here in week 4. And that's Bryson thinking about it and then just downing it. Let's check in with ED. Eric?
Well, Al, last night I had dinner with Cornelius Bennett, and I was kind of critical of the Colts defense. I asked him, I said, what are you going to do to stop the Bills on offense? He said, Eric, I'm telling you what we're going to do. We're going to blitz a lot. We're going to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I said, we haven't done that all year. He said, believe me, we're going to punish who's ever at quarterback, Rob Johnson or Doug Flutie. And I must say, they did do that tonight.
I would say that's 9 sacks tonight, 8 of Johnson plus 1 of Flutie.
I had dinner alone last night. I'm still a little spilkus. I think I caught a bad microbe over at Lenny's house of botulism.
Did you get a receipt?
Yeah, well, keeps coming back.
That's your per diem these days. Sammy Morris picks up 2. Mike Peterson, the linebacker. Here's what he says about Cornelius Bennett.
He's the type of guy who, you know, when things are going bad, you know, Cornelius is going to stand up and say something. You know, if you need to know something about the league or how to last 13 or 14 years, you go to Cornelius. You know, so he's like, I want to say like the father or the grandfather of the defense.
Cornelius Bennett, as we mentioned before, has played in 5 Super Bowls, but he has lost all 5. The record for most Super Bowls participated in Mike Lodish with the Denver Broncos. Mike played in 4 with Buffalo and then 2 with the Broncos. But at least Mike was on the winning side a couple of times.
You know, they got in the Super Bowl. That's the thing to remember. Just because you didn't come away as a winner doesn't mean you're not.
Speaking of the Broncos, and there are the numbers for the Buffalo quarterbacks, as we stated at the top. If the Colts win this game, and they're about to do that, Buffalo is out, and Denver has clinched. Sammy Morris, the intended receiver here.
Well, speaking of Denver, when's Greasy coming back? Is he due? Anybody heard anything?
Might come back for the last regular season game is the last I have heard about it.
Gus did a nice job stepping in, and this Anderson kid looks like he's the real deal. It's amazing how they continue to turn out running backs there each year.
Yep.
Low round running backs. What a yield that is. What a harvest between Orlando Scary, Terrell Davis, and this
Mike
Anderson
Shanahan
kid.
is some coach. I mean, let's never forget that as a fair catch is called for, and then it is not touched. Terrence Wilkins called for it, and then Tony Blevins will run it back to the 37-yard line. Wade Phillips can only scratch his head, think about flying home and wrapping up this season. Jan 1, Rose Bowl presented by AT&T. The Huskies of Washington against the Boilermakers of Purdue. And then the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl as the Beavers of Oregon State meet the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Jan 2, the Hurricanes and the Gators, Miami against Florida in New Orleans, and then the national championship game, the Sooners and the Seminoles, Oklahoma, Florida State, FedEx Orange Bowl. First down from the 40.
To Chris Winkie.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy winner. You know, say, you know, what if? You go back earlier this year, they blew a huge lead here to the Raiders.
Yep.
They lost a game in Chicago they shouldn't have lost. In Green Bay, a terrible start. That did them in. And then the Miami game, they had it won. The interception, Miami goes down the field. So they can look back at about 4 games and say, ugh.
Hey, and what if Emptman and Coriat are just coming into their prime on this defense with this offense? I mean, I know that's a more surreal what if, but imagine that.
And then you look ahead, and they got Miami on the road and Minnesota at home.
2-minute warning. 44-20 Indianapolis. Only our man Steve Hurd can come up with this. The Colts tonight, first NFL team since 1948 to score 44 or more points in a game after not scoring a touchdown in the first half. You go back to Washington against Detroit 52 years ago.
Now, how is Hurtsy on that thing?
I tell you, Steve, he just pulls it out of the air.
That's when they played a 6-game season.
And there's the 44 tonight for the Colts, 44-20.
He also came up with that 9-6 thing too, you know, so we got him off that and we got some points.
That's right. Remember, it was 9-6 at the half. How have the triplets done tonight? Well, Manning's numbers are really less than ordinary for him. Pretty good night for James. Actually, a typical night for Edgerrin. And not a particularly good night for Harrison.
Yeah, but good special teams play.
Right.
Especially that block punt.
2 defensive touchdowns. 2nd and 8 from the 42-yard line. And they give the ball to Lennox Gordon. So they finally give James a rest. And one Lennox Gordon carries for the first time this season.
And Lennox is a former Buffalo Bill. So, you know, he's anxious to get in there and show the old boys something.
Lennox can't even believe he's in.
Yes.
He's got that look like Edgerin's out. What's the deal?
Edgerrin James, that's a sight you almost never see. The offense on the field and Edgerrin taking a breather. 3rd down 2 from the 47-yard line.
Now you can go back. Go down. Go down.
Gordon. He's so excited with a flag thrown in at the end. He's so excited to get the ball. He doesn't care whether he goes out of bounds or not. Wade Phillips with the look of a guy who's going to watch his team fall out of playoff contention, go to 7-7. Meantime, James is out of the game, but Manning is still in there.
He's been in there since he was drafted.
Yes.
Olasek with the late hit out of bounds there on Gordon. That's why he's getting the extra 15 yards here.
I think there are a couple XFL teams called the Beekeepers and the Fishmongers. That's the Shreveport franchise and Utica, if I'm not mistaken, the Utica team.
Manning takes a knee, and we'll take our road show as you look at the guys and gals that make it possible here every Monday night. We go to Florida next week. We go to Tampa, one of the best matchups of the season, as the St. Louis Rams take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I bet you there's more than 17 points scored in that one.
I would think so.
Looks like the Rams have got their mojo working again, huh, Dennis?
Yeah, well, I'm wondering about Junta having the defensive calls taken away from him for Bud Carson. You think that's causing any acrimony over there?
No, I think Peter knows Bud and knows what's best for the team.
Well, the Indianapolis Colts, a stuttering start tonight, led 9-6 at the half and turned it into a rout. Colts now go to 8-6. They stay alive. The Buffalo Bills mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. 44-20 is the final score, and coming up, the UPS play of the game when we wrap it up from Indy.